Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, you're well, guys. So, a lot of you would have received your A level results this week, and for many of you, it would have been good news. But unfortunately, there would have also been those that didn't do as well or didn't get the grades that they expected. So, I wanted to do a video on reasons why it's good to do a gap year. But I just want to make clear, guys, this isn't just aimed at those people who didn't do that well. It could also apply to those that did really well or did better than expected. As an example, you may now find that you have more career options available to you. So it's a good point to take out a year and reflect and decide on what's best for you. But before I talk about reasons why you should do a gap year, I just want to address some of the stigma that unfortunately comes from society. And the first one is that if you do a gap year, you're going to fall behind your peers. Now, just to be clear, guys, that's absolutely rubbish, because outside of education, success isn't defined by tenure. So as an example, just because you're working for a company and you've been there for 5 years, doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a promotion. You're only going to get promoted if you demonstrate the necessary skills and qualities. So it could actually be that you may find yourself being promoted after 2 years, but someone in a similar position may find themselves getting promoted after 10 years. So even if you take a year out and fall behind your peers, if you're hungry, you're motivated, you demonstrate the necessary skills and qualities, you can catch up on that later on. You're definitely not behind. The second stigma is that unless you're traveling the world or saving an endangered species in a third world country or doing another life-changing event defined by society, a gap year is a waste of time. Now, I've seen people take out gap years to save for a car or a financial goal, to look after relatives who are ill or may have fallen ill, or just to take a break from education. All of those reasons and more are absolutely fine. You've got to remember, a gap year is unique to you and your circumstances. So don't let anyone or society dictate to you what's acceptable and what's not. The third stigma is linked to the other two, and that is doing a gap year is a sign of failure. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a lot of great achievements come from people who have taken a year out. The best achievement, which makes me smile and extremely happy for a person, is when they tell me that they've memorized the Quran in their gap year. That is a fantastic achievement, definitely a great, noble reason for taking a year out, and honestly, one of the best, if not the best, achievements you can have as a Muslim. So guys, you could probably flip my comments and work out what are the positive reasons for doing a gap year, but let's just cover these off quickly. So the first one is financial goals. So you could find yourself working full-time or focusing more time on that side hustle so that you can save for university costs, helping your parents out, maybe setting up another side hustle. But the point is, you can save a lot of money and use it however you please. Something that's relevant to this particular intake as well is you guys may have read about a lot of courses being oversubscribed. So some universities have offered financial incentives for deferring your entry to next year. So I think it was University of Leeds, I think their law course was oversubscribed, and they offered students £10,000 cash plus a year's worth of accommodation to defer their place to next year. My honest advice on that is take it and run. I would take £10,000 cash and that free accommodation offer without thinking about it twice. Because remember my first point, taking a gap year doesn't put you behind your peers. So you could use that money for a better cause, maybe setting up a side hustle that you could run through university. And that may help you pay university fees without having to take out a student loan. Just an idea there, guys. The second reason is you can learn a new skill. So there's too many times where I've started a new course or started learning a new skill and never been able to complete it. And that's because I don't have enough time. I have too many other commitments. However, if I took a year out to focus on it, I'd have more time to master that skill. So whether that's learning the Quran or a new language, because you have more time, you can focus on learning a new skill that you've been putting off. The third point is reflection. This can be a great time to take a step back and reflect on your life choices. Do I want to go to university? Do I want to pursue accountancy as a career choice? Do I want to delay starting my business? Or should I just do it now whilst I'm in a gap year? You'll have more time to reaffirm those decisions. And the good thing is, you'll probably have people in your network, maybe your friends or family, who will be doing those life choices that you're currently questioning or thinking again about. So as an example, say you're thinking about going to university. Well, you may have a friend that's already at uni whilst you're on your year off, and you can use their experiences to help you make that decision. And the final reason is, which is very important, improving your grades. So for those of you who don't know, this is the reason why I did a gap year. So when I first took my A levels, I didn't do too well. I only got CCD, which wasn't enough for an apprenticeship offer I had from PwC. So I took a year out to focus more on my grades. Alhamdulillah, I improved them, and I then got an offer at the National Audit Office. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because a lot of schemes will have minimum requirements for A levels. So I definitely recommend you checking those requirements before making that decision on whether to go to university or not. Unfortunately, I get a lot of queries from people who didn't do too well in their A levels or B Techs, but said, you know what, I'm going to turn it around, and went to university, absolutely smashed it, got a first class degree, done really well. But because those A levels and B Techs weren't that great, they're struggling to secure a place on a decent graduate program. So again, guys, just to reiterate, even if you do want to go to university and you're decided on that, absolutely fine. Go and visit some potential future employers' careers websites, see what their entry requirements are, and just double check that you meet those minimum entry requirements. The final thing I want to say, guys, which I've said before, is that unfortunately in our societies, we have this concept of time, and that by a certain age, we have to have achieved certain things. So as an example, you have to graduate by the age of 21. You have to have a car by the age of 24, or financial success is if you earn more than double your age. Honestly, don't fall for that trap and listen to that rubbish, because there's lots of examples out there of people who haven't followed the status norm and then gone on to be successful. But inshallah, I'll leave it there, guys. Let me know if you're doing a gap year. I want to hear what your plans are. Comment below. And as always, guys, if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram.